Alright guys, so today we're taking a look at the Enacfire G20. So the G20s come in at only $40, and on top of having some very impressive sound, they also have some very impressive features. But let's go ahead and check out some of those features and what it is you get inside the box. Now the first thing I do want to point out, when you use these for the first time, make sure that you pull this little sticker off of the earbuds or it won't actually connect to the case and it won't actually pair both of them to your device. I actually made this mistake at first, and reading some of the reviews on Amazon, it seems as though a lot of other people did too. I kind of actually felt stupid afterwards. But outside of that, they have Bluetooth 5.0, they use a Qualcomm 3020 chip, and they have AptX playback. So for a pair that's only $40, that's already an impressive start. And on top of that, they also have an IPX8 waterproof rating. So this is easily a pair that you can go out and you never have to worry about what you're doing, because you can even submerge these into water. Now, when it comes to what you're getting inside the box, you're getting the usual small, medium, and large silicone ear tips, but sadly on these, they have included a micro USB cable. Again, I can't really defend this because at this point, everything should be USB-C. But speaking of the charging cable, the battery life is very impressive because you're going to get around 7 hours on the earbuds themselves, with around 42 hours total using the case. And the case on these is very, very nice. It's actually kind of unique. It has this leather flap that kind of folds over on the front. You have your micro USB input on the side, and then your 4 indicator lights so that you can gauge how much battery life is left on the case is sitting on the bottom. Now, when you open up the lid, you see that the earbuds have the stem style design. Where I've never really been a fan of the stem style design, it's really starting to grow on me because some of my favorites lately have actually had this design. And so when it comes to using these, they do use touch controls, and I'm happy to say that they control everything. So you have play, pause, skipping your tracks forward, going backwards. You even have volume control, which again, I've pointed out a lot of companies seem to miss out on. Now, one thing I want to point out about these earbuds is it doesn't say they have an ultra low latency mode, but I didn't notice any kind of lag with watching videos, with watching movies, and even playing games. So I don't know what they're doing here, but it does very well with media. Now, for you guys that like to use your earbuds individually, you'll be happy to know that you can use either the left or the right. And then another huge bonus with these, and because of the Qualcomm 3020 chip, these also use CVC 8.0 technology when it comes to the microphones. So what that's doing is focusing in on your voice and blocking out a lot of your surroundings. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. All right, guys, so here is a mic test using the G20s. I think these do a very good job of picking up my voice. I noticed that there is a little bit of an echo, but I think this more than does the job when it comes to phone calls. And so now here is a mic test with a crowd noise being played in the background, which you can hear here. So this is to give you an idea of what it would sound like if you were to take a call in public. So now let's move over to the sound. The sound on these are very vibrant. They are very dynamic. They basically took the bass, the mids, and the treble, and let's just push it up as much as we can. And that's exactly what they did. The bass has a lot of punch, has a lot of impact, which I prefer. The mids are very forward. I do feel at times I wish that the mids were kind of pulled back just a little bit, because sometimes depending on what I'm listening to, it just felt like the vocalist might have been a little too forward when it came to listening to the other music. And then the treble had this very nice, bright, detailed sound. Some people might consider it to be too bright. I actually prefer this just because I love hearing the details in music, and I love when it balances out with some very dynamic bass. Overall, these are just very pleasing to listen to. Now, when it comes to the sound stage and the sound imaging, these make you feel like you are in a larger room. They do somehow feel very open, even though they have that dynamic sound. And then being able to pick apart instruments is very easy with these. There's a lot of details in the sound. Again, no matter what I listened to, it didn't get congested, it didn't get muddy, it just sounded fantastic. Now, I do have a couple of cons with these, but again, they're kind of minor. One is I really wish it didn't include a micro USB cable. And then the only other thing is I wish they dialed down the mids just a little bit. But outside of that, being able to pick these up for $40 and getting those kind of features and that kind of battery life mixed with some very dynamic sound, this makes this a pair that's easy to recommend and it's kind of hard to pass on. But guys, that's my video on the Enacfire G20s. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.